Black History Month in Japan?
Black History. Did you
Well,
know?
Black History Month around the world, acknowledging around the world.
But
So
in
we keep-
England, it's like in October.
Black and Radio Japan. Black and Radio Japan. Talk shows. Talk show. DJ sessions. Live interviews. The best for international music entertainment. Black and Radio.
Hello and welcome to this program where we are going to acknowledge Black History Month we're trying to introduce some topics, some famous blacks who have accomplished a lot to Japan and anyone else out there who's listening. Okay, today our panelists are Freddie,
Hello.
Gordon Hippolyte,
Hello, hello.
and Locke Magnus.
Hello.
And I am the moderator, kind of MC, Suzette Burton. Okay, why don't we get started first by just finding out a little bit about our panelists. Okay, first, my name is Suzette Burton, originally from Jamaica, grew up in America, and I'm very proud of the accomplishments of so many of our black men and women in the world, and I'm happy to share that with you all today. Okay, how about you?
My name is Freddie Sneddycore. I was born in Birmingham, Alabama,
Okay.
and grew up basically in Japan. I've been here since I was like 19 years old, so
Wow.
I'm kind of like, in between countries, entrepreneur in the music business and doing my thing, and happy to be here to support this cause, this event.
Glad you could join us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Gordon Hippolyte. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. Family from Haiti, and I've been in Japan for about 8 years now. I'm currently doing like some video editing stuff, so I'm really
All right.
glad to be part of the show.
All right. We're so happy you're here. Okay, how about you?
Hey everybody, I'm Locke Magnus. I'm from America. I'm from also New York. Family is from New York and Carolina. It's my ethnicity background. Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty much that's it. Costa Rica as well, right?
Wow, all over the place.
Something like that. Yeah.
Well, we're glad to have you
Was a
guys
Rolling
here.
Stone.
Oh. All right. Well, I'm going to start this with a little serious question.
Okay.
People talk about, do we still need a Black History Month? What do you guys think about that?
I think that's an absurd question.
Good. I like your answer.
Period.
I like your
I
answer.
can't even add anything to that.
All right,
We
good.
need to know our history.
Good.
Any
Good.
history.
Good. Good.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's like Black History Month. It should be longer than just a month because of all the different kinds of accomplishments that's been happening around the world, even in America itself. So I think we just need that platform to be able to talk about it because it's not something that people want to even openly talk about for some strange reason.
Yeah.
So.
And I agree with you. I see it as a jumping off point. We should have it should be part of the culture, part of every day.
Sure.
But it is important, even if it's just taking the 1 month to call attention, it's a starting point,
Yeah.
like you said. How about you? What do you think?
Well, I kind of feel the same way you do. I have mixed feelings about the necessity of a Black History Month. However, I do feel that yes, history needs to be, focused on, particularly when it comes to Black Americans. Our history is American history.
It is so true.
Therefore, a month set aside to kind of go through all the accomplishments that those people brought to the United States probably isn't enough. Not even not to mention the shortest month of the year.
I know.
Everybody's brought this up over the years.
I know.
Right?
I know.
Yeah. So yes, of course. But again, I sometimes I feel like it should be. Oh, thank you very much, brother. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like it should be spread throughout the year.
Oh,
That was
okay.
I wanted to say that I was like getting ready
Sometimes.
to raise my hand.
All right,
They should be
okay.
part of history.
Yeah, I think
Not only a Black History Month, but it should be part of every day what you learn in school, history.
Yeah.
No question about that.
Yeah,
No
so-
question about that. But you know what? We're here, and we have a chance to share
Yes.
with people who don't know. At least we know our history. And, hopefully a lot of people out there know it. But let's start by just talking about some of the people who have made a difference in the world, in America, and just in our personal lives. You know, I'm a literature major, so some of the best poetry writings is from some of my favorites. Toni Morrison, Angela Mayu, Langston Hughes, Zora Neale Hurston, these are the people I got a chance to study in university, and just reading their poetry just moved me so much. It made me think, it made me feel, it made me appreciate so much about our culture. So yeah, how about you guys with literature?
I want to say something about that. See, for me growing up, all I heard about was Edgar Allan Poe. You know those people that
That's
you
true.
just learned,
That's
that
very
you
true.
just
Yeah.
spoke of. Never heard of them in school.
What?
Never know anything about their writing style, what their contributions were. Nothing.
That is
That's
unbelievable
actually
to
very
me.
true.
Really?
That's actually very true. Because right when you said Edgar Allan Poe, I was just like, for some reason, there was that quick connect
Yeah.
to that because
Okay.
That's
he
what they
was one
taught.
guy.
We were taught that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you could just give us, like a little, like, what does this author do to you? What does this poet do to you?
Yeah.
What did they, contribute
Well,
to you?
we all know Toni Morrison, The Bluest Eye,
Mm.
The Color Purple, Beloved.
Okay. Yep.
I mean, I read her stories and her voice.
Mm-hmm.
She understood and tried to share what it was like being a young black woman, a young black girl, the bluest eye, growing up, and where everything that was good was not black. And she talks about the feeling and how this little girl wished to have blue eyes because she thought that would make people love her.
And what year are we talking? What decades are we talking?
I don't. Okay, I can get that for you, no problem. The
Okay.
Bluest Eye. Give me a second. Toni Morrison, The Bluest Eye.
Oh, that was the title of
The book, yeah, The Bluest
that's one of-
Eye, published in 1970 when she was 39.
1970.
Yeah, and it said it didn't do well at first. Back then, I guess there wasn't that big of a market for black literature, but but I think one university put it on their must-read list, and from there it became more and more and more and more popular, and now it's one of her most famous books.
Wow.
And I guess The Color Purple. You all know
Yeah, I know that
and the
because-
movie,
Yeah.
the movie, and
Yeah,
the movie,
I
and
read
the
the book,
movie,
though.
and yeah.
But since we're on this topic of poets and literature per se, have you heard about this writer? I don't know how to say it. Just scuttlebutt, if you will, about the original authors of The Matrix and The Terminator.
Oh yeah, I heard that was.
Heard-
Have you heard of
No,
This is-
no.
I heard it was a black female.
That's
wrote
right.
that.
No,
Matrix.
really? You're
Oh, no
kidding?
doubt, no doubt.
Tell me.
it? And The Terminator.
And Terminator. Yeah.
It was all one big thing.
yeah.
And she submitted this to
The
a
Wachowski.
comic book. Yeah, it's some sort of comic book thing. They were looking for, theme, something to write about.
Okay.
And they turned her down.
No, what?
Took it and did The Terminator and
That's
and,
right.
Yeah, The Matrix. And get this. This is something else too.
What?
The whole thing was based on something you would never guess. Her idea. You would never guess.
All
where she
right,
got
all
her
right,
idea
guys.
from.
That I
I'm
didn't
thinking
do.
here.
No.
I'm thinking.
I'll give
I'm
you a second
thinking.
because this really freaked me out.
It was based on something we will never guess.
Something we all have read. Let me
Oh.
put it to you like that.
Like the human species being, nothing to do with humans.
Well, it has to do with
Well,
human.
yeah, the human species being like batteries.
No, it was based on something that we have all read as children. I'm sure we have.
Oh man. Uh-oh.
I
No.
know
Not the
without a
Anansi
doubt.
stories.
Something we
Okay.
have read since childhood.
Okay.
Or-
You're gonna have to let us.
The Book of Revelations.
What?
Oh, so
The Bible. Okay.
Bible.
I was thinking the Bible, but I was like,
Oh.
Wow. The Book of Revelation.
yeah, and I brought my.
Oh no, you did. Oh my.
It was all based on
Lock,
that.
you ready? You ready?
Say that to us.
Okay, if you can find that, please hook it up.
What's
Okay.
scripture?
I mean, just searching on the internet.
Do you guys know the name of this
because
lady? Do you
yeah.
guys-
What's her name? What's her name?
I'm trying to think of her name.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah,
I am trying, but just look up, because it was settled out of court. They settled
Yeah.
out of court. They paid her and hushed it up. You don't
Yeah.
hear anything about it.
I
Or her.
I've seen that movie so
And
many times.
I think her book is
Which one?
Book was called The Third Eye or something. But, yeah, but
Wow.
Yeah.
So just getting
But I
on that.
did. I heard that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
You,
settled
All
out
of
of
you would be
that.
surprised.
Yep,
Yeah.
they settled out of court.
Yep. Wachowski, the brothers.
Wait,
who,
hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I was just thinking, you know, even on my way here, I was thinking about this. Like, I'm so thankful for these smartphones.
Yes.
Just quickly look up things on the internet.
Yeah.
Don't be shy.
so-
We'll pull them out.
All right, so apparently her name is Sophia Stewart.
Sophia Stewart.
No,
It's
never heard.
just a quick little blurb here says,
Okay.
this little known story has met a just conclusion as Sophia Stewart, African-American author of The Matrix, will finally receive her just due. Where was this posted? This was posted on Christmas 2013. For The Matrix will finally receive her just due from the copyright infringement of her original work.
Think of that.
A six-year dispute has ended involving Sophia Stewart with the Wachowski brothers, Joe
Yeah.
Silver and Warner Brothers.
No, never
that
heard that. That should have been a lot bigger news.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That movie grossed so much
movie
money.
was huge.
It got so much. The forward, you know, it was just so revolutionary, and the ideas.
Yeah. Think
Wow,
about that. Think
I
about
cannot.
that.
I am, and that is just really unbelievable to me.
That's wow.
Really unbelievable to me. Wow.
Seriously.
And then people was talking about, oh wow, I didn't like the Matrix no more.
Oh,
After the first one, I didn't like it no
oh,
more.
really?
Nah, not me, but like everybody was talking about that. Yeah.
I mean, story-wise, it had its the thing, but with that aside, I mean, the fact that
Matrix,
you know that it was her
I know.
that wrote it, and then like a 6-year dispute over copyright
Yes.
infringement.
That
Yes.
is just awful. I hope I hope they paid her well, and I
I
hope
think
she
they
writes a
paid her.
book.
They paid
Is
her
she
well.
gonna write a book? She needs to write a book where she
No.
just probably.
I don't know. I
Probably
mean, I think
can't once you get
Yeah.
the money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gag
order, right?
Yeah.
Right,
But just
right.
one more thing about that, though. Just think how deep that book must have been. That they had to separate into two different movies, Terminator and Matrix. They had to make two completely different movies.
I
You know,
have no idea. That's unbelievable
and
to
she
me.
condensed that into one. Oh, that's just heavy.
That's really
It's very
and
heavy.
you could almost see the similarities to a certain extent. You know,
Okay,
between
yeah.
you know, sending someone from the future back into the
Past.
present day, right? And then with the Matrix, they were in and out of some type of you know,
like reality.
reality.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
very
I,
connected.
yeah.
The main-
But I wouldn't have ever made the correlation had anyone not told me.
Me neither.
about
And
it.
that it was connected. The Bible. Wow.
Book
That's
of
pretty-
Revelations. Yeah.
I have to make a memo on that
Yeah,
and
yeah,
follow up.
seriously.
Hey, you hit us
Follow
with
up
a
on
brick.
that.
You know, but along those lines, this is probably like a little childhood little thing there, though. But one of my favorite Disney movies was The Lion King.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And I don't know why, but I guess I was maybe just accustomed that, you know, wasn't really much, you know, black people involved in these kind of things. And so when I found out that James Earl Jones was the voice of Mufasa, I like for some reason like I just like glue. I was like, he did the voice, like you know I found myself imitating is like Simba. Every place the world to the light touches is our kingdom. You know, it's just like it's like so deep, so powerful. You know, and like man, I don't know why exactly, you know, it impacted me so much. And like even now, I probably still can't get it. But you know, just you know the fact that we are talking about, you know, Black History Month and all these different things, and it's just like I just think he, if anything, was one person that was really influential to me in my life. That just the fact that I knew that he was the voice of Mufasa, I was like, oh my gosh.
Question for you: Star Wars.
Oh, come on.
I
Beat me to that.
just had to ask, you know.
Okay.
You do know, like, you saw the original, you know,
The original,
like that came out in the 70s. I think?
yeah, the original, like,
Yeah.
I've seen all of them.
Okay,
all of
you
them,
know that that was James Earl Jones, right?
for
Darth Vader.
Darth Vader.
Oh, Darth Vader.
Darth
Yes.
Vader.
I did know. I did know.
Okay.
That I did know.
Just want to check.
I did know.
Yeah.
See that one. See again, like that time for me, like when I actually saw Star Wars, I was actually much older.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
like I feel like if I saw Lion King first before I
Okay.
saw Star Wars.
Okay.
Even though Star Wars is, you know, way
But
back.
it's cool.
hey.
I wouldn't have seen it anyway, man. Star Wars sucks.
Oh my
my
God.
God.
No.
Yeah, I said it. Yeah.
What? But you're talking about voice.
Right,
Hey,
right.
I mean,
Yeah.
come on. James Earl Jones
They ain't have
is
no brothers.
the
They ain't having no
voice.
brothers in that
The
movie
voice.
except for Lando Calrissian. That was Billy D.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
Oh,
That's
he was
right.
cool too.
Yeah, I liked him,
Oh,
man.
Billy
but
goes
Billy-
back. Billy's one of ours.
Yeah,
you
I
know.
liked him, man, but he just looked like he walked off of a Colt 45 commercial in that movie.
What do
man.
you mean?
No, he was
What do
Yo,
you
man.
mean?
Nah, Billy was cool, man.
No,
They
Billy
had
was
little-
cool. Billy was awesome.
Man, he got choked out by Chewbacca, man. They dissed
Oh
us,
my
man.
God.
I don't like
It's
it.
okay. Forget that.
Yeah.
Forget that. Forget that. Forget that. I don't remember that. I don't remember it that way. But
They
guys,
needed to show him punching out somebody. And then, man, they threw in Samuel L. Jackson, man, in the new episode.
No,
man.
okay, hold on.
Okay,
hold on.
all right. Are y'all
With
gonna go there?
No.
He's getting
But
deep,
listen,
huh?
listen to this though. Okay.
okay,
All right.
we're
Now,
listening.
Samuel L. Jackson actually revolutionized Star Wars. Let me tell you why.
Bald head.
Okay. Stop
That
it.
could be another thing. I don't know.
Okay.
But Samuel, love you. There was no purple lightsaber until he came on the show.
Okay,
Right.
all right, okay,
And
okay.
That's right. It was only the blue and the green and the red, right?
Right.
And he didn't want any of those colors, so he chose purple. So what happened is in the Star Wars universe, right? They had to now come up with a story as to why he was able to have a purple lightsaber. And this is the part that I don't like about that part. Is the way he died in the movie. Like in the old movie, was so cheesy. Like he just got shocked and he fell out the window or whatever. So my take is, if you don't see them dead, he's still alive, right?
Okay.
So
Bring
he
him
just
back.
fell out the window. But anyway, so in this Star Wars universe thing, right? The reason why he was able to have both, he was able to have the purple lightsaber, is because he was able to master both the dark and the light,
Okay.
which is something that is kind of like impossible to kind of do.
Oh,
Right,
Interesting.
so this is why respect to that. Like
respect is
he had, like he
Black
kind of
man.
changed, you know how that thing.
Yeah, so it coincides with
Respect,
yeah,
respect.
Yeah. Now,
Right.
now, can
But,
we?
yeah.
Can we?
Let's go
Okay,
back to
I just wanted to
history.
get back
Yeah.
real quickly to
Yeah.
James, because James Earl Jones, first of all, he's an actor. He's not just a voice. The man, you
Yeah.
know, Broadway, he's just been around a long time,
Coming to
but
America.
a lot of people know him as the voice, you know. I think Darth Vader, is he the voice for CNN?
Yes.
Sometime, yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
The original.
He's
This
the original.
is
Yeah, I
CNN.
mean, that man's
Really?
voice could
Didn't know that?
get women to
Oh,
do
dude.
crazy things.
Really?
New York Bell.
Yeah. James Earl Jones. Yeah.
New York, the
Jones.
yellow
But now-
pages for New York.
But now, since we were
Yes.
talking about,
Okay.
you have some more stuff you want to add to that?
Well, I just wanted, the man's won Tony Awards, Golden Globes. You know, he was in The Great White
I
Hope.
was about
Yep.
to.
He earned an Academy Award nomination for, The Great White Hope. He's just been in a lot of things. Of course, we know The Lion King and The Voice,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he's very well respected.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a very well respected actor. So props to James.
Props to James.
No doubt.
Now, since we're on Black History Month and we kind of ventured into Star Wars, the sci-fi kind of thing,
Uh-oh.
which was all my fault because I brought up the Matrix.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
but that was good.
Okay, but I'm gonna bring it back a little bit.
Okay.
But just one more thing, Star Trek.
Oh, Star Trek.
Star
yeah.
Trek.
Oh,
Now,
I'm a
about it.
Trekkie.
You're a
Oh,
Trekkie?
should we even be talking about this?
I'm just gonna touch on it, okay?
Oh, here.
Because back during the original series,
Yes.
I wasn't a really big Trekkie fan. I wasn't
Yeah.
because I think it was the uniforms. I couldn't. They looked like pajamas, you know.
The
stuff
tights,
that Batman.
the tights.
Actually, they
Yeah,
were
the
the
tights.
stuff, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Underoos before
Right.
you were underoos.
But the point I'm making is, for years and years, they always talked about their enemies, the Klingons, right?
Oh,
Whom you never saw. And when you finally see the
see 'em.
Klingons,
okay.
they're black.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. They're
They're dark.
They're
Yeah,
dark.
Call it what you want.
we're dark. Yeah.
Oh.
Don't you think that's a little bit, like, yeah, come on,
Well,
man.
if you
all
think
these
about
years,
it, if you
all
think
these
about it,
years.
that's black people like that anyway, man. They cling on to the dominant society, and they should break free.
Oh, is that where you? Okay, that's where you're gonna go
Interesting.
with that.
Yeah, interesting take.
Well, just to continue on that, I'm just thinking.
But you good point.
That's a
Brian.
great point because most people focus on, the breaking the taboo, the first kiss with Nichelle Nichols and Captain Kirk. It was the first interracial
Yeah.
kiss on a TV show or a
show?
series or something.
Intergalactical swirl, right?
Okay. So I think most people were
Keep it
focusing
hood.
on that.
Keep it hood.
Most people were all right, boys.
Yeah, well,
okay.
Most people were focusing on that,
sure.
but I hadn't thought about the Klingons
Yeah.
actually.
Klingons.
Huh.
Oh, man.
Huh.
I guess
Okay.
I guess that's probably the reason why it flew over a lot of people's heads.
Maybe, right?
It's
Maybe.
because they're represented as an alien race. So even though sure they may like they're black or whatever, but it doesn't really hit. Whereas when you have like two like as humans or whatever, and it's an interracial relationship. It's like okay, that's like right there in your
Yeah,
face. But
right.
like, oh, it's Klingons.
I know.
They're just a
Right,
different
yeah.
race.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Different
just
race,
kind
and
of-
so it's natural. They should look like that.
right?
You know?
And
Well,
people are afraid of them,
yeah.
and they've got this. That's a point.
Right, yeah.
Wow. All right, then, Freddie. Something more for us to think about. So, if it's okay, guys, can I bring it back a little bit away
Yes,
from
yes,
the?
yes, please.
Let's just talk about before we were talking about blacks who have achieved so much, and we don't know a lot about them. And I know was it last year there was that movie and black women, of course black, but black women also have to get their props. So was it last year there was that movie Hidden Figures about the black women who worked at NASA?
I
Was
never
it-
saw that movie. But
I
think
didn't
saw
see
the,
it, but that was suppose these
Was it last
women.
year?
Let's see here. Everything comes to Japan
Oh.
a year late, so I'm not really sure. But
Okay.
2016 actually.
Okay.
About the role of these black mathematicians in NASA and the space race. Everybody said how amazing that was. It was finally taking these women who had been just kind of obscured through history and just kind of putting it out there. They were smart, they were black, they were integral part
And you see,
of the the space program.
that right there, and this is why, like, going, way back, to that first question about, like, if, Black History Month, if she get rid of it or not, or whatever the thing, and like stuff like this is why it's so important to have, like, not just a Black History Month, but just like have it spread around. Because to be honest, like, until I saw the preview of this movie, I never even knew that there was, first of all, women, whether it be black or white or whatever, right?
Exactly.
Had a huge thing to deal with,
With the
right? Right? But then on top of that, being black is like a, double whammy. But then now that you are a mathematician, right? Doing something that the space race, because first of all, okay, let's be real here, all right? In pretty much in America, kind of like the stereotype is if you're black, you're probably in some sort of gang, you're doing drugs or whatever, And funny enough, in Japan, if you're kind of black, you can probably sing, you can play some sort of sports, or you
Lord.
dance. That's kind of
I
like
know.
this.
Or you're in the military.
I
Or
know. Or you're in the
military,
military.
right?
Or you're in the military.
So you have
we'll talk about that later.
You have these kind of stereotypes
Types,
dealing with like
Yeah.
nothing to do with what is accepted in terms of academics, right?
That's true. That's true.
So like having information like that, I think it's like really pivotal, especially for these, young girls growing up, the next generation. It's like, whoa, like she was good at math, and wow. So that kind of information, I think, is definitely, it needs to be shared. It needs to be spread
it
out.
needs to be out there. Yeah, because we don't get a lot of credit just for being smart enough, being IT, math,
That's right.
all of that. We get so left behind.
Yeah. And I want to add too, since we're talking about NASA, I brought up the Mae Jemison.
Yeah.
Yeah, I brought that up in the school.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I was teaching in Japan.
Okay.
right?
In
And,
your
like,
school. Okay.
And like people were like really surprised. It's like, huh? Yeah, like because actually she kind of has an Asian her features. Her features are kind of Asian, in appearance, and the spelling of her name is M-A-E, right? So it's like Mai,
It could be.
Okay,
I
okay.
see your
but
point. I
it's
see
Mae
what you're saying.
Jemison, Mae Jemison, yeah,
Okay.
you know what I mean. And was she featured in that particular movie?
No, because this was about the early days of NASA.
Oh, okay,
Yeah. When they were they were during the space race.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Actually, there was a television series. I think it was called Timeless, maybe. But they had one episode where they talked about this one African American woman. she came in and saved the day.
Yes.
And also this series, which is I think is called Timeless.
It is Timeless.
They gave us they were teaching a lot of history. For example,
Yes.
dun, 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 dun,
Yes. Ah,
black dude,
Yeah, the original character for Lone Ranger.
Lone
was black.
Ranger.
and they showed it on
right.
that TV series.
That's right. That was a good show. I don't think they kept it. I think it ended after one season, but
Okay.
it was really, really interesting.
Yeah,
it was
very-
really
very
interesting.
informational.
Timeless, about time travel.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay.
the pilot of the time the ship was the black guy, also a black guy,
Yeah,
right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Pilot.
Yeah. So they,
Pilot.
I think little by little, things are starting to come out in the open.
Well, we have
In
a
their
lot
own
more.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Jack
that's good.
Daniels.
Huh?
Jack Daniels, yeah.
Yeah, he
The guy, the person who made the whiskey, Jack Daniels, was actually a black person.
Get out of here.
No dope, no sweat. Yeah, it
Get
came
outta
as a
here.
shock to me. I mean, I don't even like Jack Daniels.
Get out of
But-
here.
Okay, but still.
But yeah, it's like a indentured servant,
Oh,
or shall I say? He
okay.
was like a
Yeah.
slave,
Slave.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, whatever.
so they,
Nice way to say it.
A lot of inventions that were
Honey.
made by
Oh, okay.
black people were commandeered by the
Yeah.
white dominant society,
society at
and
the
therefore,
time.
Right.
yeah,
They didn't get credit. They didn't.
Yeah.
Black
Yeah.
people
Really
didn't get the
interesting.
credit
Rock and
for
roll.
it.
Wow.
They didn't get the
Rock,
credit
you
for
know what I
it.
mean? So yeah, Jack Daniels was black.
Now I learned a lot about George Washington Carver Jr. because he was from Alabama.
Alabama. Ah, okay.
So
okay,
they
okay.
gave us. I think when I was growing up, we had a Black History Week.
That is right. Yeah, yeah.
I
You
believe-
remember that?
yes,
There was
yes.
no Black History
It wasn't
Month.
a month.
That's
We had a
right.
Black
Yeah, it
History
was a
Week.
Black History
It
Week.
was
Oh, wow.
In the days of old. Yes.
In the days of old,
It
on
was a week.
antiquity.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. It was a
and
week.
you crammed it all in
Yeah,
one
that's
week.
true. That's true. I
That's
forgot
really
about
interesting.
that.
Yeah.
When the white kids had only 1 week vacation in February.
Oh, that's what it was.
That's what it was.
That's the
what
week
it was.
they taught it.
now in February they get the whole month off. It's unofficial.
Okay, all right. I thought. It was,
Yeah, I said
okay.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So so growing up, that he was one person we learned a lot about.
Yeah.
We learned a
And
lot
think about the things he did with the peanut.
Peanut.
I mean, think
no
about
doubt,
the,
yeah.
the education. I didn't dig deep enough.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys know about his education, but all I can think about is way back in those days, there was, you weren't really being taught a whole lot, and they gave him a peanut. So he had some sense. They maybe he could let's give him a peanut. I mean, one peanut. Well, maybe he had a bunch, but a peanut. The stuff he did with a peanut,
I mean, want to share it with everybody?
like
Jimmy,
peanut
some
butter.
viewers.
Genius.
Like peanut butter.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
peanut butter.
Yeah.
Hey man, that's a major
We
thing.
own, yeah,
And Skippy and Jiff, they got
yeah.
everything.
I
Right.
know.
But he
Carver's
did-
family ain't got a penny, huh?
But he did make peanut butter, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was the person who.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Invented-
peanut oil, all
Right.
that stuff.
So everybody who likes peanuts, I mean, I don't know
Should
if
pay
we ever
homage.
if we're gonna get into that later about the cuisine of America.
Oh,
Yeah,
we hey, we can segue to that. But
yeah, we can go back and forth. We can do it all.
the good thing though is at least he's acknowledged.
Yeah,
Right.
he has a
What,
tragic
after-
backstory.
Yeah, after-
His tragic backstory
Oh,
isn't.
Oh, what happened to him?
Well, wasn't he like castrated? He was adopted by a white family.
I don't know.
Yeah, okay,
that
and
right?
then they had him castrated because they didn't want him around their whatever children. In those days, you have to understand in the United States,
Racial
so-called.
segregation,
Oh, it's
separation,
terrible.
yeah.
That's where we get that strange fruit
Oh yeah,
from, and
strange fruit.
strange fruit, and
They wrote a song
so
about
yeah,
that.
I think a lot of the people, these people back in the day were really maniacal.
Oh God.
Yeah, so therefore, I don't know.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
all right, but.
maniacal.
Anyway, yeah. So we a lot of information about some of these people are very limited. However, it's good that they are being acknowledged. However, they've always George Washington Carver, Edgar Evers, Martin Luther King.
Yeah, we know.
Booker
you
T.
know.
Washington.
Booker
Yeah,
T. Washington.
we know.
Yeah.
There's some
Yeah.
that
Du
at least.
Bois.
Du Bois. Hey.
Frederick Douglass.
All
Frederick
them. Yeah,
Douglass.
Frederick
Who's
Douglass.
okay.
I love this natural too. Never had a natural, huh?
Oh no, tell
Fred
me.
Hair.
No
Oh,
doubt,
you
no
like
doubt.
Fred
I
Hair?
respect
You
it.
like
Respect
you?
Rock that,
Dude was
rock
laid.
that. No
You
doubt.
look good.
Yeah.
I got you gotta
Yeah,
give
who
it
wants
up.
to
Give it
bring up a little bit about Mr.
Okay.
Douglas while we're on the topic?
Actually, got some little notes here. Seems like his birthday is actually tomorrow.
Is that right?
That's, you know what?
Celebration.
Okay,
Aquarius.
tomorrow. What date is? What
Is
tomorrow's
It'd be
16.
The
18th.
18th. Hold on.
You're kidding.
February?
1888, February.
February 8th.
1888.
1888.
Is that a typo?
Wow.
That should be
February?
January?
This is January. I wonder. Let's see. Let's just reconfirm.
Wow.
Frederick
All
Douglass.
right. Yeah.
Frederick Douglass.
Born a slave.
Born a slave.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Escaped at the age of 20.
Yeah.
Now think about it. Look at that. 1895 when he died. 1895, 1995.
Oh, he
that was
passed
just a
away
little
in
over 100
February.
years ago. That's that's not like it was a lifetime away
I know,
or 2
I know,
lifetimes away.
I know.
That was like a
How did he
generation
die?
away.
Does it? How did he die? Does it say? How did he die? I can't
Natural.
remember.
I think
Was it natural?
Natural.
says
Natural.
he died February 20th. So that's 3 days later.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
I don't know how he died.
No, but he's one of our. Now again, we know. You know, at least he's known. You got what else we got about the great man?
Well, he went on to become a world-renowned anti-slavery activist.
Yes,
of course,
yes,
you know.
yes, fighting for us.
Yep, 3
Oh,
autobiographies.
no, that's right. February 18th. That's
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
100 years. Tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah, Frederick. Yeah, we studied a little bit about him.
No doubt, no doubt.
Cause of death, heart attack.
Oh,
Okay,
so
at least
then
natural.
I apologize.
Yeah, natural.
Misinformation
Natural.
there.
Had 5 children.
Okay. All right.
Married twice.
All right.
Anything else we need to on that paper there about Mr. Douglas?
Okay, well.
The great
I mean,
orator, wasn't he known for his
yeah.
speeches
Oh,
and
yeah.
just the man was brilliant.
Yeah, and he had fire too, from what I hear.
Let's see. Here's a quote here. So I prefer to be true to myself, even at the hazard of incurring the ridicule of others, rather than to be false, and to incur my own abhorrence.
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 Frederick Douglass.
Tell it like it is.
Wow.
Yeah, I think. Here's another one.
Mhm.
The life of a nation is secure only while the nation is honest, truthful, and virtuous. I think that's something.
Mhm.
Very apropos even today, especially
Yes.
today. Maybe
Especially
especially today.
This is why I kind of stopped in my speech. I didn't
Yeah.
want to open up that door, but it
Oh
seems
no!
like I did.
Oh no!
But he
no!
was a good-looking
no.
brother, though. Look at him. That's a handsome dude, man.
He was.
Yeah.
He was.
Don't
He
get me wrong.
was.
I'm not, I'm just saying the dude's a
And
good-looking
he
brother.
aged
Hand
well.
pulls.
You did.
Good-looking brother.
Mm.
man.
And he aged very
Yeah.
well. And
I think in
guys,
general, a lot of black
Yeah,
people
yeah, brothers
age
look good,
very
man.
well.
Now, see, he kind of look like Isaac Hayes up right here. a
Black
little bit.
don't crack.
I guess.
You know,
But
same
God-
tribe.
Yeah.
Same tribe.
That's right. That's
Good
right.
sir.
But you know, guys, I'm
Judah,
reading.
tribe of Judah. You know?
Word.
But guys,
Yeah.
I'm
Let's
reading
see.
some of the deepest words here
Okay.
from Frederick Douglass, and
Okay.
actually, I went to the New African American History and Culture Museum in D.C. last.
Wow.
Oh, don't get me. We'll
Okay,
talk. Oh,
okay.
goosebumps. But a lot of the it's just amazing. But a lot of the quotes and a lot of them from Douglas are like on huge type on walls, and these are two. And I think you got to read them, especially in this day and age. And I'm gonna give it to one of the men with a good deep voice. I'm gonna give this one to Locke. Just read the first one. Just read the first one and pause
The
for a
first one from
minute.
the top?
Yeah.
Okay.
Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did, and it never will.
Yeah. You can't just wait. That's the way I interpret it. You can't just wait for them to say, "Oh, we deserve this and we deserve that." You have got to fight. You have got to challenge. You have to go out there and wrest
That was
the power from the forces that are trying to keep us
Power
down,
concedes
from the
nothing.
forces that are trying to deny us.
Listen.
That is just one of my
Okay.
favorite quotes.
Now, now this is speaking on behalf of maybe it's too strong of a word, but being a Haitian,
Okay.
and how Haiti was the first Caribbean nation to fight back and actually get their independence.
1804.
Respect.
okay.
Right?
Respect.
So,
Tribe of Levi.
so yeah,
Nope.
So just that whole thing about like
You gotta
sometimes you just have to fight. Sometimes you just have
You
to
have to
fight.
demand.
You have to. It's not anymore sometimes, especially guys in this day and age in
Yeah.
the world, in America. I mean, hey.
Okay, now question. I may be going off a little bit, just a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna bring it back really quick though. Now, with that in mind, think about my man across the water,
Mm. You say your man.
homie across the water. Here.
Oh, okay. You don't want to say his name?
Come on,
Because you
come
was
on
like,
now.
you said my man. I'm like, your man, yeah.
You know, right? Like an hour or two flight from here.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
Olympics.
Crazy Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
sure,
Okay.
sure.
Oh,
Shorty
we
would
supposed
have
to
say the name.
Okay.
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 Hey, you know, I mean, you know, hey, sometimes you have to demand
This
things.
dude. Oh well. Hey. Hey, well.
I'm just thought I'd
Yeah.
put that out there.
Yeah. And then, if you're gonna go on, you
I
got.
think, yo, something about this right here kind of rings a bell.
Which one?
Oh yeah,
The first
you've
Yeah.
heard this many times. You've seen it posted.
Yeah, I think Fist
what
of the
way?
North Star bit that, man. One of the characters from a Japanese animation series, he bit it. You know, he kind of changed the words around a little bit.
Oh, really?
But yeah. In the English translated version, yeah, the father of Hokuto no Ken. But anyway, hey, you know,
It's
like
good.
power
good.
without perception is meaningless. You know, something. You know, but
Kind of similar to that.
oh yeah, very much so.
And I
Wouldn't
like
be
that.
surprised.
I like the bottom one too. It's,
Yeah, I like
it's,
to
it
read
says a lot. It's strong.
Can someone read that for
We
the
need
audience?
strong. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we need a man's voice.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just do your best,
Go ahead.
Frederick Douglass. Come on, bring it on home.
Right, how about we both do it? We can do it like back to back.
All right.
1, 2, 1, right.
All right, go ahead.
Where justice is denied,
Where poverty is enforced,
where ignorance prevails,
and where any one class
is made to feel that society
is an organized conspiracy
to oppress, rob,
and degrade them,
neither persons
nor property.
will be safe.
Whoa. All I'm saying
see, that was
is, I
fire.
listen to this
That's your feeling.
and I'm thinking everything old is new again. The time we are back where these have
Yeah.
so much meaning for us.
Yeah.
You know,
And,
it's not just in the past. Black history is not just in the past, people.
and that's the power of truth. You know what I mean? Like with truth, when truth is spoken, like truth will go on in itself. And you know, sure, lies can go on forever too, right? But when truth is spoken and you see it still happening, you just got to step back for a second, because when someone can lie, I'm like, okay, well, that's not happening. But this statement right here, we're still fighting for this right now.
Yeah, no question. And thank God he at least gave us, you know, he set a path. He set a path. And I guess this is another quote of his from the life. He wrote The Life and Times of Frederick Douglass, 1881. And this quote, I prayed for 20 years, but received no answer until I prayed with my legs. You have seen how a man was made a slave. You shall see how a slave was made a man.
Wow.
Frederick,
Orator.
the great orator,
Look
Wow.
at him.
the great orator, the
Wow.
great orator.
Does anyone know where he was born? Where he escaped
Mountain,
from?
was it Mountain? Or
Maryland.
And where did he get his education? How did he do all that? Back in those days, being born
Yeah,
a
that's-
slave. There's just, can we take 30 seconds to just research that for a minute? I mean, he escaped when he was like 20 years old, right? He learned to read and write at the age of 12 from a Baltimore slaveholder's wife. See,
wow.
I tell you something.
Oh,
That's,
okay.
this is something I have to say.
Yeah.
Love is real.
Yeah.
Love, there's good and there's bad. We have to acknowledge it. You can call it
No,
whatever,
it's true.
whatever you want
It's
to,
true.
but hey, that's life.
It's
Positive and negative.
Yeah.
And the positivity was there because that Baltimore slaveholder's wife didn't have to do that, but she taught him at
Yeah.
the age of 12.
I know.
And
Yeah.
look what that.
And look what became of him.
Look, yeah. Look what he accomplished with that. Yeah, no, love is real. And there's not all bad. It's not all bad and evil. But, you know, he had to fight.
Yeah.
He had to fight. He had to
At
fight.
the age of 12, taught him how to write.
I'm interested to see what other questions you might have.
Oh,
Or do you have another?
I'm sorry.
Go. Oh, no.
Let me bring one more thing
Bring it
up.
on. Bring it on.
Because
bring
you
it
know,
on.
it started
Bring it
with
on.
it started with the women, right?
Bring it
The
on.
female, the black
Bring it
women.
on.
Okay.
Bring it on.
I don't know, but for some reason I was interested in Helen Keller. For some reason, I don't know. I was doing, you know, when I get on the internet and I start doing things, you know. And anyway, I'm reading her Wikipedia, right?
Okay.
Look here, and if you don't think about some things, you read it and you just pass on by it. I didn't do any research on it, but Helen Keller gets all this credit for doing all this stuff, right? Learning how to do this and learning how to do that and stuff, right? We do know this, right? All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
All right. She
somewhat.
did not do that alone.
She did not.
No, she did not.
Who
There was
helped
a
her?
black woman, and they just put it. They put it in there, but they just
Buried it.
they put it in there, and hey, she was helped by a black woman taught her, but she gets all the credit for all this stuff. And I think somewhere, somehow, someday,
Yeah, 'cause she was
someone
deaf
should
and
get
blind.
into that.
Okay. I
Because
see. Oh, her
she-
story needs to be told.
Right.
Gotcha.
Well, the black
Gotcha.
woman that helped Helen Keller.
Yeah.
They gave her all the goods. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the
Yep.
black woman who sold the flag for the United States of America needs to need some background information on them too.
Okay. It
Yeah.
wasn't Betsy, huh?
Nah,
You
well,
got some information on?
I wish I did. That's
Okay.
what I mean. You know,
Okay.
and you know to piggyback what he said because there are a lot of historical figures
Unsung heroes.
apparently,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
unsung
Yeah.
and
Unsung
shrouded
heroes.
in obscurity.
Yeah.
yeah.
Unsung heroes got left behind. They got left
John
behind.
Horse. Yeah, Nat Turner was one of mine.
Nat
Oh,
Turner.
You know what I'm saying? That's
oh,
one of my
okay.
favorite. One of my personal favorites.
Okay.
Really?
All right.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
no doubt, man. No
Okay.
doubt. Love him.
Give our
Yeah.
listeners a quick,
Just a little.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
little
thing
things
about
Well,
Nat.
Nat Turner was from Virginia,
Mhm.
and he was born a slave there. And I believe, as the story goes, that the people who were in possession of him taught him. Well, he was able to learn how to read by way of reading the Bible, and throughout his period of life, he had seen and experiences all the atrocities of that particular period of enslavement in the United States. And then one day, apparently he caught the spirit, and whatever, I believe again that he were children of Israel, Hebrew Israelites.
all right.
And
Oh.
it rose up and caused a lot of chaos on the plantation, leaving a trail of blood, like exterminated over 50, 60
Yep.
men, women, children
Wow.
of the white race.
He went on a rampage.
Yeah, and they refused to give him any type of serious, for example,
Like
they'll-
acknowledgement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll acknowledge, Frederick Douglass, and as well as they should,
I
as well
gotcha.
they should. However,
He was a
the
fighter.
rampage at which, the way they executed him was they left his body out to rot in the air, and some of his bones, I believe, were collected by people.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So he was one of my heroes. You know what I mean, of the United States of America.
He rose
Well,
up.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
I
was.
think
John
another-
Horse and all
Yeah.
those guys that
Yeah.
actually
Unsung
fought
hero.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because of 1804, right? You know what I mean? The Haitians. Yeah, a lot of times, a lot of people don't. Haitians fought back, and they drove the French out of their part of the world.
Let's see, I didn't know this.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was 1804?
Yeah, they knocked them out.
Look at that.
They boxed
Look
them up.
at that.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah.
bagged them. They
Oh,
bagged
That
them.
yeah.
makes me.
And
But I
actually,
just
that
want to say,
started-
but I just want to say in defense of the United States brothers, because the Buffalo Soldiers doing their thing out
Yes,
west. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
And
yes.
I apologize for the Native Americans, but however, we were dealing with a geographical disadvantage.
Okay.
because you know that whole entire, there were people who did rebel. There were black people, you know, who had rebelled against slavery at that time. However, you know, there was like a, you know, a territory which they didn't know a lot about.
Right.
And I got to give it up to the Jamaicans and the Haitians, because, you know, that, you know, you fought back, you got your independence, you know,
Yeah, we
particularly Haiti.
Yeah, we're going to throw it over to Haiti in a
Yeah,
minute.
you know what I mean? But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Y'all lucky y'all's on that island, man. Y'all can get them up out of there.
All right.
I got
to
two,
US.
two things to,
Okay,
kind of
yes.
say. Well, first of all, is yes, Haiti.
Yeah, we want to hear about
Like,
Haiti.
Tucson overture. Right?
Yeah. So I mean that you know there's you know one of in the history of it, like that whole fighting back, that's where I guess the whole voodoo thing kind of started. It was that's how in that group that kind of started, and then with that thing that became like this religion, they gathered together and they fought back and they won. So to say whether that's a good or bad thing, that's probably a discussion for like another time. But in light of Haiti, of unsung heroes, right? The founder of Chicago. Right?
Okay.
This and I think I believe we mentioned his name earlier. I'm not sure, but Jean-Baptiste Pont du Sable, and he was the first permanent resident of Chicago, and he was recognized as the founder of Chicago. And you know, it's kind of interesting. Like I think, well, the reason why I bring him up is because, you know, there was this whole thing about like Haiti and Africa.
I was just about to say that.
You know, was called like, you know, I don't even want to re-say the words, but and so all these things. There was a statement made by the
4-5.
4-5. I like that. That's what we're gonna call him. By 45.
By the 45, saying that that
Haiti.
they were part of like these blank hole countries and stuff, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
So-
I paid no attention to him after the election.
So-
I think the first after that, you know.
Okay.
But just to bring it back to the point, right? So all these things about Haiti, you know, started coming out as it should, right? And so that was a big thing for me. But one thing that was interesting for me, two things, is one, several years ago, this Japanese guy comes to me, and he started to express to me how thankful he was because of black gospel music, right? And because through black, and he didn't really speak English, but he would listen to black gospel, and he actually became Christian through listening to the black gospel. And now here's why I'm saying it, because he came to me and he said, "I'm so thankful for your people."
Wow.
Right?
Really?
This is a and
That's
he,
heavy.
I know. Oh my gosh! When he said that to me, I didn't even know how to respond. He came to me. He's like, "I'm so thankful for your people." I'm just like, "What is this? Like, how to like? Yeah, right." And then the second point is, there was I think it was last year, where a friend of mine who I met in Japan when I was studying abroad, but finally visited again just last year. Now that I'm in Japan. He's Australian, and he wanted to know more about, like, you know, the fight that black people have to fight for justice, and, you know, the whole like civil rights and all these different things. And he mentioned this bit to me that I had no idea. He said, so this whole like Aboriginal part, like, you know, dealing with Australia and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And so apparently, the word from the whole civil rights movements and all that stuff from back then, and how we won, right? That got out to Australia, which motivated them to fight back.
Really?
Like, and this is something I found. Like I was like, what? You know? So it's just all of these, you know, events that has taken place throughout history, and you know it you know. We talk about it sometimes as if it's, you know, small or big. We give it, we put a weight on it, right?
Okay.
But even in our discussions sometimes, I feel like it's like the impact that we've had literally across the globe.
Yeah, we don't realize it.
We don't like, and to be frank, like living, you know, even though my family's from Haiti, I lived in America, and so everything was about America.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
except when it came to compa, the Haitian music, when it came to Haitian food. My mother didn't know how to cook. You know, she always would say, she's like, You know, I need flavor in my food. You know, I need the seasoning. I need the, you know, and so that was you know, Haitian culture for me. But all the other things about that historical aspect that influenced the other Caribbean nations, that influenced like people across the globe, because everything was just minimized to America. America,
I know,
great.
you know what?
America is this.
I know, yeah.
And when I came to Japan 8 years ago, that's when I started to get it more so exposed.
Isn't
to
that
people.
interesting?
Right?
Because we think we know it all, and we're so exposed to everything in America.
So-
It's actually it's very
Yeah. Controlled.
Yeah,
So
very
what-
controlled.
And on top of that, like the impact and the influence that we have around the world just by our skin color, right? And because I you know, I started to do video editing, but I work for a school and stuff, and there's been plenty of times where the kids they come to me, and you know, I even gave a speech about this. I gave a talk to like over 200 people
Wow.
and stuff about physical appearance. So people thought I was talking about clothing, but what I was talking about was about the skin color and how to properly correct a child if they make a statement about your skin color. Because you know, a child, they just make an observation.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you know, a white dog, a black car.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, a foreigner, a black foreigner, and some people get offended,
I
right?
see what you're
And
saying,
so
yeah.
when that stuff started happening to me, where they started to like ask these questions about my skin color, about all these different things, it hit me really hard of like how much just being here in Japan, like we like expose the I guess like the variety of the world, right?
It's true.
And so we just open like kids' minds. We just open the door, like even with the hair texture and everything. It's like, oh, can I touch your hair? Like, okay, so whoa, it feels like cotton, like you know, all these different things. So,
Jody.
but yeah, it kind of just went off around.
Yeah,
it. It's
no,
just just the impact, you know.
And you know what? It's a point. Maybe we're in America, you know, and yeah, we need Black History. We felt like we needed to create this Black History Month holiday just to acknowledge and pay tribute also.
That's right.
But you're right. We don't think, and a lot of Americans, you don't get out of the country, and we don't find out the connection, and that there are other places struggling, other people who are, and that the American Black, the story of the slaves and the freedom fights and everything, it has had a much bigger impact than we are led to believe.
That's right.
And that's why we have to research and find out for ourselves. And it's not a once in a while thing. We got to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And
Keep doing it.
no, that's great. And you know, we are here, and as being in Japan, it is part of Black history. We can introduce these people to more than Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
They know him very well.
They know his speech.
You know, they can quote it left and right,
Yeah.
but there's so much more, and a lot of them do want to know.
That's right.
And you know, we are representatives,
Right.
Whether we want to
want
or
to
not,
or not,
right?
or not.
Yeah, and I think to add to that, I think that it should be taught. History should be along with every other topic that you would learn in school. Like for example, a minute ago we were talking about the astronaut, not the astronauts, but the women who worked with NASA, right? I think that with any type of course that the kids learn in school, all of those things should be incorporated as you go throughout the year. You know, and then,
Of course.
in every subject, every aspect.
Yeah.
PE,
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole point of having this. We can go on in different topics, but I have to bring it back to this, to Jean-Baptiste Pointusson.
Okay.
I'm trying to do my French from university. And like you said, a lot of negative things has been said, but now maybe I didn't know about him in Chicago. And now, because of all the negative stuff that
he was a trapper, right?
Whatever.
Wasn't he like a trapper?
Yep.
Yeah, I knew about him one time.
The name I knew a little bit, but he named Chicago. He gave it the name.
Wow.
You know,
Look at
Founded
that.
it.
you know, he founded it. He gave it the name. I mean, come on here. Wow.
Wow.
It's like I could hear his Haitian accent.
Can you?
Chicago?
What? How would he say it?
Chicago?
Chicago.
Look at that.
How about Los Angeles? Wasn't that founded by like black colored people of color too?
I don't know. Sorry. Los Angeles?
Yeah. Actually, Los Angeles has a long name, I heard. Like the real name of Los Angeles has a very long name. Like, but they shortened it to Los Angeles. The Angels City.
The City of Angels.
I think initially it's like Village or something. Los Pueblos de something.
I'm not sure. I haven't heard.
Me neither.
Yeah, I heard that they were also founded by people of color. So to speak. You ever heard of Rufus Buck?
No.
Rufus Buck?
No. Who was he?
He's like a black Indian. He's like a criminal though.
Okay.
But if you,
criminals have their place.
actually, yeah, I mean, you know, if you see the way certain dominant figures in our society, like Jesse James and Billy the Kid, they like heroes for them,
Right?
Sort of.
Black March.
But nah, he was kind of like a real bad guy though. But if you ever read this book, William Katz, Black Indians, a lot of the Native Americans were black, and so like you know, Rufus Buck. Basically, if you were to see the pictures of Rufus Buck, you'd probably be like, dang. No disrespect, kind of look like you a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's an Indian, but you know, but Native American person, but
He's that cool.
yeah, no doubt, man. He's some cool cats, man. I mean, but like, I don't agree with everything they did, but however,
the Rufus Buck gang.
yeah, that's right. Hey, matter of fact, that's him right there. Yeah, that's his gang.
Let me see that.
That's his gang.
I don't know.
Let me
if
see
it's
that. Does he look like? He look
I
like
mean,
Freddie?
A lot of people back then, but you gotta check it out though. A lot of people back then looked, you know,
Alike.
yeah, pretty
I
much
don't know
like
if you
that.
want to like point it to the camera or
No,
something.
but which one is? Which
I
one?
don't.
Rufus Buck is the one in the center.
Okay.
He's the guy in the center
Okay.
with the hat. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if there's a camera we can. Which camera?
We'll have the cameras up there.
Yeah. Right. We want it done. Rufus Buck, but you know, but like anyway,
What kind of
if
stuff
you
did
would,
he do?
if you would like,
Okay, that's
if you look
Rufus.
at- yeah, if you-
Which one? The one in the middle. Okay.
yeah, one in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
But if you were to
Rufus
look at
Buck.
pictures of
Research
you know,
that.
of brothers back then, you know, black people back then,
Rufus
you know,
Buck.
like those are the kind of people that you know lived out west in California and stuff like that. Because if you only you know to watch TV and everything, only thing you think black people, oh yeah, they just you know have
Yeah.
dungarees and you know overalls.
Impossible,
and
man.
was
Brothers
only
are too cool.
Yeah, black
Even
people
the
was all
slaves.
over the place.
Even the slaves.
The first cowboys were black, all of that, right? You
believe
know what I'm
that.
saying? Like that's where you get the word cowboy from. So it's like, you know, you
that's
show
right.
a picture.
I heard that.
Yeah, so you show a picture of Japanese people of a black cowboy, they're like, huh? What's that? Who's you know what I mean? Oh, actually, you know, cowboys were, you know, first cowboys were black, right? So that's why I'm not eating at that restaurant Cowboy over here, man. They got a
Okay. All right.
sucks.
Okay.
Yeah, I said it. Oh, my
All
bad. I don't want
right.
to mess up the advertising
All
revenue.
right. Okay.
No, we.
All right, guys.
Okay.
So, I mean, we've covered a lot of topics, and I mean, we got a musician in the house. One, two. We've
several.
We got.
Well, you know, they think we all about music.
Music,
I mean, I'm
yeah.
not. I mean, he's a real musician. I
Okay.
mean,
Well, let me.
I've seen it with my own.
Oh, okay. Let me tell you why I bring it up, because a lot of ways that you talk about, we're in Japan. A lot of our students, they expect us all to sing, and they were very disappointed when they heard that I love karaoke, but I'm not really Whitney Houston. Okay, so but you know what? Like you said, some of it we use. I get like, no, I don't sing. I get the attitude up, but. This is what they know.
That's right.
And we should use it sometimes as a teachable moment. Like, you know, like Gordon was saying, you know, they want to know. They want to know the hair.
Yeah.
They want to know, my students, when I first came to Japan, they want to know why the inside of my palms were white.
Yeah. Hey.
That was a huge, serious, deep question. And
Yeah.
I don't know, guys, I don't know what your answer is, but all I could say was, this is the way God made.
Listen.
They get
Sprayed
honest-
painted us
I
while
get it.
They were
women
deep.
had
The women
their
get
hand
I'm
against the
around.
wall.
I'm around like kids all the time, and it was like to be honest, because growing up in America, you're just so used to living around people. Like you don't really think about your own identity per se. Really, you don't really think about yourself. You don't think about your skin color and the why. And so it wasn't until I came to Japan that I actually learned that it was because of melanin in my skin.
See?
Right? And so like that just blew my head up. Like, oh my gosh, like what was I doing for the past like 20 something years that I don't even know why my skin or whatever all this, and these kids are bringing this up, right? They're asking this question. And one funny situation was like this kid, we came from a field trip, and there was a guy from like the UK, I believe. He was walking up the stairs and he got sunburned, and then she asked us like, oh, Mr. So-and-so, why are you red? It's like, well, because we were outside, we had a field trip, sunburned, and in my head I was like, shucks, she's gonna ask me that question. And she's like, so Mr. Hippolyte, why are you not red? I was like, well, maybe because I don't know, maybe because of my skin, it's used to the sunlight and stuff, so I have a higher resistance against, like kind of sunlight. It's like, oh, okay. And I thought that was the end of the story. So I go to class, and there was this boy with like his head down, like a few periods like later. And I'm like, hey, dude, like, what, like, are you okay? What's wrong? And he's like, and he was really not focusing. He's like, I wish I was black. I was like, what? Why?
No, you don't.
And he's like, I don't like. And this is a kid, like what, grade 2?
Oh, okay.
And he's like, and then he was like, I don't like sunburn. I was just like, listen, you're perfect just the way you are. It's like, really? I'm like, yes. Come on, man. Come on, do your work. And he just got like happy, So again, these little things that we just take for granted.
Yeah.
That people just they're like, without even knowing, they are looking for that kind of information.
They are, and we. Yeah, Locke, I saw your look. No. It's true. Look, I'm easygoing and I'm laid back, but the back goes up sorry about that. When I just assume it's coming from a bad place and a negative place, and for some of us, that's what's growing up in America. And other places is like we're on the defensive in some ways. And you're right. In Japan, it's they really don't know because we're a few of the foreign population here, and they want to know. And as teachers, some of us, whether we're musicians or whatever, one of my main things was to learn to just don't get my back up. Don't assume it's coming from a negative place. There are times when it is, and you can know it, but with young kids, they don't know, and we are kind of ambassadors in our own way. And I think Gordon, you made me think that Suzette, maybe just be a little bit more open and just not get ready to beat down people a minute.
Look, I'm not saying you need to accept everything. It's like, oh, you cute little thing, you don't know. Like for example, right? So like again, kids, right? They were just like, oh, said you're a monkey, right? Now I didn't take that as like, okay, you're like, I just want to say, hey, is it okay to call anyone a monkey? Forget about is it okay to call a black person a monkey? It's like, is it okay to call anyone a monkey? Because we're what? We're people. That's right, we're people. So is that okay? And it's like, no. Okay, so you're black. Why? I didn't even talk to him about anything. He just switched the question up like that, So that's what I'm saying. Is like sometimes you can see like there is aggression, but how we respond to the aggression, right? Like it's just forget it. Like for me, I learned to just not try to take it so personal all the time. I just make it general because on the flip side of that, there was like this white guy that went to this very rural place on the mountains. Like I don't know if it was Jamaica or Africa, I'm not sure. And he was like the only first white guy they ever saw, right? And then they looked at him and they were just like, "Are you okay? Like what? You sure you're not sick or anything?" It's like, well, why? You don't have any color. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're so used to seeing black people, so they see this person's like white, and it's like, it's like, are you sick? Because this is how kind of we get. So on the flip side of that, right? So that's what I mean. Just like, just take it not as like it's an attack. Because again, of course, and this is why again I'm so thankful for Black History Month, because we do have a heavy weight that people cannot truly understand, right? Like they can't understand it. It's like they can try to try to pat you in the back. It's like, come on, let's do it. But to be honest, like people don't understand the stares that we get. They don't get it, like where people see you coming down the street and they take their purse and they just switch it on their sides, right? So
that happened to you?
That happened to me.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm-
in broad daylight.
In
Really?
in,
Well,
in
okay.
Japan?
I
Or-
must
No,
have been
in America.
in
Oh,
America,
oh,
in
college.
America. Yeah,
Oh,
I figured
college
we needed
campus.
to straighten that out.
Well, you know, America. man,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. Oh no,
Well, you
not
know what?
Japan.
See, I can't really say because, like I say,
Yeah,
I
You've
was over
been
here.
No,
I've been
I
here
go
a
there,
long
man,
time.
and
Been here
visit
a
the
But you
family
know,
and
but
eat.
you know, man, you know, sometimes people just do that to like just do it. You know what I mean? Like if they really sometimes came out and said, "Oh, I don't like you," you know what I'm saying? That would make them seem like a bad person, right?
Okay.
So the only obvious thing that they can do is sometimes is just to, you know, juxtapose. You know, like okay, well, look, oh. I'm gonna move my purse. I'm gonna clutch my
Wow.
purse
Yeah.
when I see you, and you know I'm gonna bring a whole lot of attention to what I'm doing, so then other people can see that. And
Yeah, I
then-
just
I
laughed
mean,
when she did that. I
Yes.
just laughed. I was like, yo, it's like 12 p.m. like right now. Like
I know.
really,
Come
and
on,
there's so
right?
many people
I know,
here.
I know.
Oh,
But
man, New York, man.
anyhow,
That happened to me
digress a
every
little.
other day. But you know what? I'm gonna tell you, man. Yeah,
Okay.
I agree. I totally agree. Nowadays, maybe it's a good thing to like just not take it so personal.
Personally.
However,
Oh.
so you pick and choose your moments.
Moments.
I can't
Yeah.
speak for every particular person. But I had a privilege of hearing the previous show, and I think that they touched on that quite a bit. And you know, that was I'm glad that I got a chance to hear that.
Touch on
The previous show.
Oh, the
touch
previous-
on
oh.
the color thing.
Oh yeah, I think there was a panel of ladies.
Oh,
or
yeah,
women
yeah,
that
yeah,
were on
yeah.
here, and you know, I happened to hear some of what the panel was saying, and I kind of agree with. Well, not kind of agree. I think from what I heard, I agreed with a whole lot of what
I
they was
didn't. I
saying.
didn't hear.
Well, you know, I think one of the panelists was saying something to the effect, kind of a little bit reflective of what you mentioned about you being a black man
Yeah, sure,
teaching
sure,
in
sure.
the elementary public schools. And I believe it was something to the effect of, okay, well, when you meet all these other people, you're appropriate, you know, you have these manners that you observe, you know, like when you see another person, you know, you greet them appropriately, and I'm paraphrasing because I can't say exactly. You know, you greet them appropriately, but then when you greet me, then you take on a whole different persona. You know, you might. You know,
Oh,
yo,
yes,
and
yes,
then you know,
that's
or
different.
or then
Yes,
you know,
that's
oh, I see, oh, hi, let me,
No.
you know, like stick my hand all up in your hair. Oh, you know, what I'm saying, like,
Yeah,
you know,
see,
No.
that's different.
like,
No.
is this
Yeah.
real? You know what I'm
No.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Gotcha.
like,
Oh, yeah.
well, would you ask, you know, even if you knew a person was wearing a toupee, right?
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Would you go out
Yeah.
and ask them,
No.
hey, is that real? You know
And
what I
better
mean?
yet, touch it. Yeah. No.
So if I'm if I got the wrong point of that particular conversation, you know, then I apologize. But what I got from it, kind of, was along those lines. So I just find it really refreshing, as a brother over here, you know what I'm saying, to know that parallels into something I have experienced
Yeah.
myself,
Yeah.
and maybe with the advent, or maybe with the inclusion of a Black History type of awareness being made, for I think everywhere,
Yeah,
as the
everywhere.
Black population grows in Japan, maybe perhaps it could be, observed over here
Hey,
the same
listen,
way.
Olympics
There
about
you
to
go.
happen.
Oh.
2020, right?
The same way they
so-
be doing, like, St. Patrick's Day, you know what I
Day,
mean? They be
yeah.
doing all them other cultural events. They even have Oktoberfest,
Well,
huh?
you know
I
what?
know.
That may be.
Okay,
that
yeah,
may be
one-
Kwanzaa Day.
Oh.
Have your Kwanzaa Day.
Oh, well, you know what?
Something.
You know what? Oh, okay, I put it like this. there are different diasporas of the
ne?
Black family.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got like several different type countries, right? But if we would stick it to the 12 tribes, then then you just say, okay, like the American, whatever, the Haitian bros, the Jamaican bros, Puerto Rican bros, don't forget Roberto Clemente. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, for example, you know what I mean? Like, Latinos is black, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah, color.
it's like,
Color.
so, you got to celebrate all of those. If we were
Yeah.
to do that,
Yeah, we
and I'm
gotta-
just saying, that's just like probably,
Yeah,
somewhere, just a thought. Just a thought. You know what I mean? Like, they got 28 days, might be the shortest month of the year. However, you could do a lot with 28 days if you were only to, you know, kind of consider it, right?
Yeah.
You know, first day would be, you know, whatever day,
Oh, okay.
maybe
I see
USA
what you're
Day.
saying. Okay.
Yeah, not to take nothing away. Yeah,
Okay. I
not to
got
take
you.
nothing away from Setsubun, right? 'Cause,
Okay.
you know,
Okay.
Japanese people
Yeah.
be freaking out.
Okay.
On it, you know?
Oh, okay. So okay, I see.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But it's worthy of consideration. I would suppose.
Yeah, now we are
should be
become.
done.
There's more and more of us, and we have more options now, and
That's right.
and we have more chances because
That's
people
right.
want to know. So I'm gonna take it back to two things. You're right. Everybody's experience. We know when they're coming for us, and we know when they just don't know better.
Yeah.
And you react appropriately. And you know, someone's always talking about teachable moments, and I think it's this program and other times there are those moments. A lot of times because of our history and growing up in the States, we miss some of the teachable moments because
right.
we're just so defensive. But oh no, we know when it's wrong, and we have to call it out.
Yeah.
That's crazy, you know. But but just a different way. And again, that's also showing them who we are. We're not the scary, freaky,
right.
you know, what they've been taught from the movies.
From the movies.
Because, you know, that's all they know. So yeah, we all can do a lot. The other thing, guys, this is so good and so much, but we have to take it back to just at least music, because that is one thing they do know a lot about us in Japan, and they love the black music, they love, you know, jazz, and so you know,
Again,
any
black
It's
who are some
all
of
black music.
so who are some of you guys' favorite musicians? They do know Stevie,
Prince.
and they love Stevie. Prince, okay,
like
Prince.
Prince.
I
Yeah,
love
Prince.
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 The
But,
king
you know,
of pop, Michael Jackson.
Oh, they know him.
Oh,
they love him.
They love
Go,
Jackson.
guys. You guys go.
They
Michael
love James
Jackson.
Brown.
I was just talking about him just a few days ago to one of my coworkers. I was like, it's incredible. It's incredible that to have such an artist that, from what I saw, I could be wrong, but from what I saw, could literally get on a plane or travel anywhere around the world and be accepted. Like, even the places where people wouldn't even dream of going. The king of pop, it's like, yo, Michael Jackson is coming. Like, they'll probably, like, roll out red carpets or something. Like, he was such a, like, man.
Phenomenal.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Sorry, but yeah, Michael Jackson.
Oh no, you
No,
guys.
it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
On you.
I
Who else?
co-sign.
Who else?
James Brown.
James
Jay-
Brown.
Ah!
Yeah.
It's a
James
man's
Brown.
world,
Man's
Yo,
world.
that's
but it ain't mean nothing
Godfather.
Nothing.
without a woman or a girl.
Appropriately
I
expressed.
love
Mr.
it.
Please, please, please.
My favorite rapper. Your favorite rapper is Grandmaster Melly
Well,
Mel.
all right. You're rap.
Yeah, I thought y'all said. I bet y'all thought I was gonna say Tupac, right?
No.
Not me.
no.
Okay, but look here, check this out. I wanted to say this a while back.
Please.
Since we're on music now, is how can I say this? It kind
your
of makes
time.
me feel a little, like, here we go again. When people talk about black gospel,
Oh, I know. Oh, okay.
Yep.
this is a very, very new term.
Take the floor.
This is a very,
I
very
know.
new term.
Yeah,
Gospel is gospel, and we made it.
Exactly.
We did this. There
I
was no
didn't even
black
know-
gospel.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
even know that.
Hey, well, I mean,
Is
it
this
came
a
out, it came
Japanese
out of his
thing?
mouth.
Yeah,
when he
exactly,
said it.
exactly,
Yeah,
because that's how they came up.
Right.
This came up to me, said black gospel music, right?
Someone
Black
in
gospel.
Japan. That's
Well,
what,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Because
see,
Education.
that's unfortunately, man, like the
You know why,
the
though?
problem I do with I want to say about Japanese society, it's like
It's not
okay,
their
on
fault.
the one hand, I'm not gonna blame them, man,
Okay.
but like okay, on the one hand, you want to appreciate the culture, you want to be a part of it, and then okay, yeah, you say you like it and everything, but then the next thing you do is like, after you get taught, how to do it, or you learn how to do it, you throw on top of it J. You throw a J on top
Yeah.
of it.
J-pop.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
put J
yeah,
pop,
yeah.
J hip hop,
Yeah.
J reggae, J this and everything. So it's like, okay, now you got a category that didn't previously exist in any form. I mean, okay, like if you said, okay, like the language is, okay, Japan, the Japanese, the hip hop that is being expressed, or Japanese gospel, Jasmine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's coming to that.
So
Just wait.
You
J
know
gospel.
what I mean?
I know.
That's,
It's gonna
you know,
come
that's. I don't want to, point my finger. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But
Yeah.
unfortunately, man, it's kind of disturbing in a way.
Yeah.
I mean,
see
You know
what
what I
you're
mean?
saying.
it's unfortunate simply because, first of all, I think one of the most influential things in terms of the whole black gospel thing is the movie Sister Act. Right? So gospel, because of that movie Sister Act, like, I guess Japan was exposed to gospel. And, Whoopi, the lead is
Yeah.
black, and she
Yeah.
came to like what
Yeah.
was like a Catholic kind of,
Yeah.
sister nun
Mm.
thing, which is primarily, I guess, white kind of stuff. And so her style of bringing singing, which is not the one that actually Japan was used to, which is just a standing there,
Ah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. I've
And so
seen that.
this black person came and introduced this whole clapping and this motion of fun and everything. So seeing that, I think it's easy to just categorize it as just black gospel. This is what black people.
I was just about to
Yeah.
say that
Yeah.
because it's a two-edged sword. you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, sure,
It
of
has
course.
its pluses and minuses.
Of course.
Because they have to identify that they want to hear our music.
Yeah.
They're talking about our music, so they have to put the
Yeah.
black there.
Yeah.
But it's not really their fault because
Exactly. Sorry, I don't think it is.
Hey,
we have
it's
to
not their
educate
fault.
them.
Yeah,
They don't
I
know.
agree.
I agree.
just like I'm going off topic again, but just a little bit.
Yeah.
Years ago, Las Vegas, when you go there and you look at the Luxor Hotel, you look at the Sphinx and stuff. Hey, that is not an African man's nose on that Sphinx up there.
Oh.
Blue eyes, and he's sitting there. And if you've never been to Africa, if you know nothing about Egypt is Africa, a lot of people can't
Exactly.
say
Exactly.
That's why I said Africa.
Exactly,
Don't
honey.
think I made a mistake.
I know. No,
You
no,
ever
no,
go to
no.
Africa?
It's
That's
so
a funny
true.
thing.
It's
I got a
true.
map
They
for
don't
those
know
who
it.
are-
They don't know.
They don't
They
know.
don't know. They
They
don't
don't know,
They're
yeah.
shocked.
Yeah, but if they look at that statue in Las Vegas, they would think that's what it really.
It looks like.
Yeah, and so they've never heard our music, like you say, except for Sister
Sorry,
Act,
I know.
and so they have to categorize it as black gospel. But in America, they call it gospel
It's
because
gospel.
that's what it is.
Yeah, it
More
is.
gospel.
Before, I think there was Toshinobu Kubota.
Yeah, I know
Wasn't he
him,
one of the
singer.
guys that kind of he did a lot of duets back in the days. I don't know if he actually delved into gospel itself, but I mean I know that he did a lot of duets, and I'm gonna give him props for being one of the few, if not, I'm sure a lot of Japanese people, but I think he gave a lot of credit to where he learned his.
Oh yeah, he's very
Crap.
so. Yeah,
Yeah.
he did. He
And
did
his
a-
first hit song was written by a brother
Really.
and didn't really get any credit for anything.
No
and I'm
way.
saying this
Oh, my bad.
by being in the music
And I
business.
spoke out of
this-
turn
This
then,
is
you know
this
what I'm
is
saying? I
something
probably-
that you don't talk about. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm just
Yeah.
saying this is just another
Yeah.
unsung hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of that.
This
goes
brother
on.
wrote
I
a
don't
song.
know.
He
Yeah.
wrote a song. He wrote his
Really?
first hit song, and no one knows his name.
What?
Oh, that's
And that's
But no, your point is
But-
and you gotta educate them about the music. Gotta musicians.
Agree. And you know what? And that's a good point too, because see, the brother Gordon just said, like a lot of people don't know about like gospel music and they didn't know about it till like Whoopi. But you know what though? I think in general they need to know a lot more about our if you want to talk about music or anywhere in entertainment, they need to
anything.
know more about them in general. Period.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if you in Japan, man, look, I'm gonna have to keep it real for a second.
Go
man.
ahead.
Japanese people know about the lowest low level B C actor that's out and everything that I don't even know about, right? And then they don't know about Denzel Washington.
It's
they
true.
wouldn't know about
It's
Morgan
true.
Freeman.
It's
Oh,
true.
they'll
It's
know
true.
him, but they won't know his
his
name.
name.
You know what I mean? Or then like maybe the best thing, Eddie Murphy they'll know, right? You know what I mean? Somebody like that. But I think in general, there should be, okay, Stevie Wonder, they'll know that, because
Yeah.
Oh, they love Stevie.
Yeah.
they always tell me I look like him, or you know what I mean? If I put on glasses,
I
but,
see.
But the point, they need to know. I think, they'll know Bob Marley.
Oh,
They'll
everybody
know
knows
Bob
it,
Marley.
yeah. One
Some
Love.
of them, yeah, but in general, you know, I think that they should know about a lot of our, you know, jazz. You did jazz, Miles Davis.
I
You
know,
know what I'm saying? They should know about us.
And
all
but guys, that's we're. I don't know who else is. I'm a teacher. You know, you're a musician.
We try.
We do what we can.
Yeah,
we can't.
Like, I think the best way to I don't know, this may just be my thought, maybe the best way to teach or to educate is just, you know, when the opportunity presents itself, you know. And you know, like in the music scene, I mean, to be honest, like sometimes I go to jam sessions and I play music and stuff with people, and sometimes I see and you know, one of the things that I love about Japan is their dedication to something.
Yeah, they
right?
take it seriously.
Right?
They go.
And so I remember I was like just, you know, fooling around on the drums, and this, like, you know, little cute little Japanese girl just come in with her little keyboard, set it up and stuff like that, and she starts going like doing all the mean jazz chords. And then when I start asking the question, she's naming this artist, this artist, this artist, this artist, from all like popular black jazz, you know. And she was like how she spent time watching videos, she spent time like seeing their song sheets, listening to their music, getting their albums and stuff. It's like that kind of level of dedication, you know. It's like when I like it moved. It just I was just moved. So it's like when that opportunity presents itself, first of all, I didn't really have to do anything because she did all that research herself, you know. But I just it's just when that opportunity, I don't even know, probably like university, university something. But
we just got to point them where the first step, you know, to teach them, and then tell them where to go look, because it's not in their textbooks, and it's not going to be the first thing they find when they type in something on you know, the internet. So
question,
all right, guys, it's I think so. So no, you got time for your question. Go ahead.
Just out of curiosity, anybody, y'all can chime in. If you have you ever got any like roadblocks when you try to, you know, kind of teach or inject certain things about your culture? Like, for example, I'm of the opinion, I'm of the opinion, and I think I have a very strong opinion that, you know, black, if you say black, right, you know, black is not only just a race, it's also an ethnicity, it's a culture that goes with that, right? So it's like, not everything is racial, you know what I mean? It's not all the time racial. It's cultural, right? So like, there, you know, people out there who can say, well, in, you know, I'm Irish, kiss me, I'm Irish, you know what I'm saying? But if I said kiss me, I'm black, you know, you'd be mad, right? But see, the point I'm trying to make is, like, you know, sometimes, you know, you might try to teach about certain aspects of the culture, and then there's certain, you know, with all due respect, man, you know what I mean, there, you know, our, you know, white friends or white individuals who also foreigners here in Japan, you know what I mean, or people who have a strong influence over, you know, the Japanese, you know what I'm saying, the impressionable Japanese, who might, you know, get it, the idea that, well, why is everything so racial? You know what I mean? Like, you know, I didn't mean to do that imitation. But I mean, you know, why is everything got to be racial? You know what I mean? Why it's got to be racial? And, you know, you try to get that point across that, well, no, it's not racial, it's cultural. And I want to, you know, explain about my culture because it's important to me that people understand what the culture is to us, and how, you know, these things can promote a better understanding, you know, because earlier we talking about, like, you know, oh, you a monkey, and, you know, we happen to understand now that, you know, like, I believe even in Australia that's a bad thing to say. So I heard a girl got kicked out of a soccer game for calling an Aboriginal person a gorilla, you know what I mean? So, like, that's a serious offense to certain people in the world now. So, like, in the only way we can promote that culture, or, you know, that you know, understanding is that if we're able to somehow share it, but then we come across roadblocks at certain times.
I'm with you, man.
I think I get what you're saying.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Have you guys?
That's why I'm here.
Have you guys
appreciate
gotten any of that roadblock?
I mean,
yeah, that's a good question. I like that.
Go ahead.
I haven't.
Okay. That's fair enough.
I wouldn't say I got roadblocks. I would say I got what's the word? Expectation, like, because I am black, they were kind of expecting that I would behave a certain way or speak a certain way. And so when I didn't, they were kind of like, you know, I got a lot of that because I didn't match that expectation they had of me because of my skin color.
Yeah.
So I want to say exactly, to be honest, to be fair, like, you know, I had a lot of doors open to me here in Japan, and some of it is, I guess, because I was black.
I know, it's interesting.
And some people they have that, like, there's just that welcoming kind of thing. Of course, there's that the other flip side, which is, you know, but I just want to kind of shed the light maybe on the positive side of it, you know.
That's good.
And I you know, that's something I, you know, hold dear. It's like, it's just, as opposed to a roadblock, it's kind of like a catapult.
Oh,
You
okay.
know. So
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy that, you know, this, you know, that Gordon had that type of experience, and to my own demise, you know, I would say that, you know, I would just say that, you know, I sometimes, you know, I guess I was a dead ringer for that, you know, and I'm just gonna say it because, you know, we from the same place, man. You know, I'm from New York, and I grew up in that culture. You know, my father's from the Bronx, right? Yeah, man. And so, like, you know, hip hop. And hip hop has always been a part of my life, but even the predecessor to hip hop was like that rock and roll, but also was a different kind of rock and roll that we listen to today. And then before that, it was bebop and that jazz, right? And I had the privilege of talking to you, sir, before your show a couple weeks ago, and you know, the jazz, you know, all that music was like in. My parents like made sure that music was in our life, and like you know, they, you know, played those records for us. And so a lot of people tell me all the time, oh yeah, you talk like a rapper, now, you know, sometimes you know, you know, like, I'm like, yeah, which one gotcha, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I mean, you're a stereotype, you know, at least come with something we can believe. But I mean, you know, I can understand too, you know, but at the same time, you know, maybe that's just what kind of people we are, you know. We're the kind of people that, you know, have, you know, music is not just something as a hobby, you know, it's like something that's ingrained within us. So when we, it kind of resonates when we interact with other people. So therefore, you know, you might hear a little rhythm, or you might see, you know, some, you know, type of, you know, bop in the walk. Except for me, you know what I'm saying? I'm really injured. I really got a little bad.
Really? You sure? Okay. I don't know.
I'm really injured, so that bop is
it's real. It's real. It's not faking.
Oh man, those stretches, man.
It's not faking.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No. We all do have our experiences, but like you said, we know when we got to keep it real and set people straight. And in a good way and a bad way, we have to do it, whether they're coming at us from a, you know, we don't know better, or we know better but we want to act a certain way, or we really don't, please teach us. And but we know what time it is and how to react accordingly.
That's right.
And
I just kinda wanna,
as we wrap this up, go ahead. Go ahead, Gordon, and then
quick
you guys.
spin on this whole, like, you know, history, right? Because a lot of us, us here will become history to the next generations, right? So, you know, same way we have Frederick Douglass, of course, we know Martin Luther King, and all these people, right? So
Malcolm X.
Malcolm X.
Oh yeah,
right.
Oh no.
You know,
Malcolm.
the younger generation, they may not really know of them so much, but you know what? They might know Gordon. They might know, hey, he was probably the first black guy I ever met in my life.
Exactly.
And this is what he did, and this is what he taught me.
Yes.
You know? And so when that person is like older, history for them is like, I remember Gordon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they'll pass that on. They'll talk to somebody else, you know. And it'll
Shout
make a
out
difference.
to Jaja.
Okay, Jaja. Hey, Jaja.
Probably the black
Yeah.
radio station
Yeah, he's
in
doing a
Osaka,
lot.
Japan.
Black
That's
Guy
history
Radio.
in
Yeah.
itself.
Yes.
right
Yeah,
there.
Black Khan's doing a lot
of stuff.
for black culture,
no
history,
doubt.
everything,
Yeah.
life in Japan. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes,
big
he
up,
is.
big
Oh,
up
big
to
up.
that.
Shout outs.
Big up to that. Shout out to that. And I just want to say thank you to these amazing men. Locke,
Thank you.
any last words?
No last words, but I want to shout out Ron Van Cleef, the Grandmaster Dr. Ron Van Cleef, the martial artist, and Moses Powell, Jim Kelly, rest in peace,
Jim Kelly.
Ty Mock.
wow.
Yeah, my favorite writers. Want to shout out my favorite writers. Robert Beck, Robert H. Decoy, Chester Himes,
Oh,
Claude
yeah.
Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Those are some of my
Oh, my
favorite
gosh.
writers.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Too many.
And that's pretty much it's too many. And
All
I just
right.
want to thank the panel, these fly guys right here,
Yeah.
man. Y'all do the fly guy thing, man.
You do your, no,
Yeah.
that's it. No, but that's the whole thing. We
Yeah,
all do
yeah.
our thing. Locke,
Mr. Freddie, Mr. Freddie,
Locke,
Mrs. G,
we all do our
Gordon.
thing. We all do our thing, and we got our
Madame,
point.
Madame Suzette. You know what I'm saying?
I
I'm very
like
happy
that.
to be here.
I
and,
like
and,
that.
and shout out to Sonya too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Sonya.
Shout out to Sonya.
Yeah.
Hey,
Thank
Gordon.
you very much.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, Gordon. Any last word?
I guess this is. It might sound weird, but this is the Chinese New Year. I know it's Black
yeah.
History, but the reason why I mentioned this is because all those like Chinese New Year, Happy New Year.
Yeah. Okay. Happy New Year.
But there was this just the blacks we've impacted everywhere, and look up Black Chinese tribe.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
so,
Oh.
because what happened, this is my last thing, because there was this guy who wanted to try to prove why Chinese people are so great, why they're so smart and everything like that. And he found this common strand in the DNA, which connected to this tribe that was like part of like the west side of Africa or something like that.
What?
And then he
West
found,
side.
yeah, and then he found like pictures and all that stuff, and like even the outfits, with their styles and everything like
I bet
that.
they were cool too.
So again, black,
No
we
doubt.
are like
Yeah.
just
We're everywhere.
J.A. Rogers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all over. And how about you, Freddie?
I just want to say that I'm very, very, very happy to have been able to participate in this. And, I think it's something that we should not only do for during Black History Month, but we
Yes.
should do this like once a month or so.
Regularly.
Get together
Regularly.
and educate the Japanese people
I
because
agree.
we are ambassadors.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Every
But
time we
then
walk
again,
down the street, when
want to
they hear us on the
It's true.
phone,
It's
when they
true.
hear us talking with each
It's
other,
true.
Yeah.
they're interested, and we should be able to tell them, let them know what we are about because
Yes.
mass media won't do
it
it.
won't
No.
do it. Won't do it.
Well,
They
that's a
give them
good
a
point
false
there,
picture,
Freddie.
yeah.
That's
So,
a good
you know,
point. We
yeah.
need to work on that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No,
Thank
thank
you.
you all for letting me be a part
Yeah,
of
no, this was an awesome panel. My first time, but I couldn't have
Same.
picked a better group. And I learned a lot, and I'm going to go do some homework myself after I leave here. And I just want to say the history continues at 7:30, the Gospel Hour. Please tune in.
Hey,
all right?
All right.
Okay.
All
That's
right.
all, folks.
All right. Thanks,
Peace
son.
out. Shout out to Killer Bees.
Black and Radio Japan. Black and Radio Japan. Talk show, DJ sessions, live interviews. The best for international music entertainment. Black and Radio.
Abiyena, binyo Intellectuals is proud to present our Black History flashcards, designed to combat the miseducation and suppression of Black achievements around the globe. Our Black History flashcards gives a strong foundation to the many untold stories.
Mikengi